as history has gone on, as us as black people, and like how we've been like slaves, and how white people have like taken us apart to a point where like us as black people cannot come together. We've been like divided, and like how in like countries like Nigeria there's so much like I guess it's called like corruption and stuff, and like how they don't want to help our people, but it shouldn't be like that. We should all come to one mutual like agreement as black people to stand up for our culture and like not deny our culture, because if you're black you have your culture and you shouldn't try and fit in with everybody else because that's what's the norm, or like you feel you don't want to like embrace your original culture, because then like you'll never feel like fulfilled and you'll always just feel like you're wearing a mask and not being what you truly are.
So today we're going to be doing like a group conversation, just going over different topics and whatnot. So the first topic is God real?
I believe that God is real, because obviously something that I've been introduced to from a young age. Like I was born into a Christian household, and like before, like I wasn't really deep in it as much. I was just like, oh yeah, God is real, go to church every Sunday. But now I've actually experienced it for myself, and I truly believe that God is real on my own terms.
A Christian household, so I've also grown up and gone to church to believe that God is real. And I have prayed to him and it has worked multiple times, so I would say that it's God's will.
How do you know it's God that's answering your prayers? How do you know it's not anything else?
Stuff that wouldn't normally happen, and I just seem to be really lucky this time, so I like to think that it has something to do with it.
What about all the people, like all the bad things in the world that happen? How come, if God is real, why did they happen? Why is there no cure for cancer? Why did coronavirus come about?
It's not, that's more of a human error than God.
Cancer was created by humans.
Yeah.
And if God is all loving, then why, if he exists and he's all loving, then why doesn't he stop all these things from happening?
Why did they happen in the first place?
Things from happening.
Well, sometimes God can give you things maybe like as a consequence. And then there's this phrase, what you give to the universe always comes back, so that could be something.
God is a person, and like not everyone can do everything. So it just like us, it's not like we can like fix stuff like cure coronavirus, cancer and other stuff. So basically the same thing.
Should we punish or help drug addicts?
At the end of the day, it's not going to be their fault. It's kind of like villains, like how how villains don't start off evil. Like there's a reason why there's a reason why they turn evil. So I feel like it's the same with drug addicts. Like there's a reason why they become drug addicts in the first place.
Yeah, for sure.
I get that. I think it should be a bit of both. Like, obviously, drug addicts, some don't have control of whether they stop or not, but they still had control of getting into it in the first place. And I think that they should be held, there should be some held accountability, because you should know better, I feel like.
I think it's not always as easy as just knowing better, because I feel like there's a lot of times when the situation feels like there's not other options for you to take, so that's what you turn to. And it's not a matter of, oh, you should know better. Like, times get tough, you gotta find other ways to deal with your issues, and I feel like drugs is something that a lot of people turn to.
Trying to do something that's hurting you isn't really going to help any situation.
Yeah, but in the moment you don't feel like it's hurting you. It's providing a release of some sort, do you know what I'm saying? Do you think like homeschooling is better than mainstream education?
It depends
On
the quality of teaching at home, because let's say for example at school, students might not understand a certain teacher's method of teaching, and they're going to have to stick with that teacher for however long they're going to be in school for. But then at home you have someone
you have someone who knows you well, so they'll be able to understand the type of attention you need when it comes to learning, and also at home it's going to be like just you and your siblings learning, so you have more attention. Yeah,
Sure.
I think like also it depends because at home you can have like a level of relaxation sometimes because you're more comfortable there and you're not like pressured to or like put in a place to work that you're not too comfortable at, like somewhere where you live your life, which is your house and stuff, so you might be a bit more comfortable there.
But I also think going to mainstream school is good because you get the element of like your social life. I feel like when you're homeschooled, you don't necessarily have to interact. Like for me, I know that other than school, I don't go out like that. I don't go places. So it's like if I don't go to school, I wouldn't know anybody really. And I think it's important for children to be able to have people their age that they can socialise with, like not just adults or not just family members or whatever. It's important to have that social element that you get from school.
So there's some things in school that they don't even teach you.
Yeah.
So like when you're older, you're getting to the age where you're about to move out, get your own house. They don't teach you about any of that stuff, financial stuff. So it'd be good if you're homeschooled, so you can start learning about that early.
Okay, so what, do you enjoy being homeschooled?
Yeah, I do enjoy being homeschooled.
Who teaches you, your mum?
Yeah, my dad teaches me coding with Adobe, Photoshop, and coding.
Oh, okay, so do you think you learn more skills than you would like in mainstream school?
Yeah, something like that.
what do you enjoy about being homeschooled? Like, why do you like it?
Well, it's because I don't go to school for days. I always been homeschooled from Monday to Friday.
Would you say like, if you were given the opportunity to choose between staying at home and being homeschooled or going to public school, or would you choose?
Well, I prefer homeschooled anyway.
Why?
Well, it's because I don't like being public school. Because sometimes I don't bring books at home.
Oh, fair enough. Do you think that marriage is necessary?
No.
Yes.
Marriage is unnecessary. It's not by force to be married. If you love someone, that can be shown without the signing of papers, without the rings. But at the same time, you can choose to be married because obviously you might think that's a better way to express your love for your what's that thing called? For your partner, show your band in like a congregation of people. Yeah.
I think marriage is compulsory because I just feel like because I think marriage isn't necessarily about the way you actually feel about your partner. I think it's also like there's a legal element to it as well. Because for example, if you were to be in an accident or something and for whatever reason you don't have good communications with your family would be the people that would make the decisions for you. Whereas if you're married, your partner would be the one that would be able to make the decisions for you. So it's like, in terms of like legality, what's the word? Wait. In terms of like the actual legal elements of things, it is very important for you to be married and have a partner that is, fully committed to being able to make certain decisions for you. So I think marriage is important.
I don't think marriage is necessary, like it's not a must do, but it is nice to do.
Okay, everyone needs that financial stability in their life, yeah? And like, to have a man or like a woman do that for you. And like, I'm not sure if you've watched a movie called The Proposal, yeah? It's about this woman, she needs her visa. Yeah, so she marries for her visa. Very good movie.
It makes sense.
Yeah, but like, I thought
marriage isn't necessary, but it's a nice bond, and there are so many reasons why you can get married. Money, visas, love, which is actually, that one doesn't happen too much, but yeah, it's not necessary, but, and like, as,
Okay, would you guys personally get married?
Yes,
For what
multiple
reason?
times.
Marriage is a very overrated concept. Right?
Why?
Like right when like spending all that money on a party and then like when you're there having fun and stuff with your family members and everyone you're like sure it feels good, but then after you get married and you go home, you realise that it's not all cracked up to be. You might have some regrets.
No, he's telling the truth, you know.
Feel celibate.
Social media has ruined society.
Social media has ruined. Wait, social media has ruined society.
Yeah.
Yes.
And like nobody is original anymore. Like you see, like, cause I feel like our brains subconscious, like we see something and we copy it, like even if we don't know we're doing it or not. So you say something on the instant, we're like, oh, I want to do that, but we don't even know deep down if that's what you're supposed to do. So we just like see and copy, like, oh, this person has like, I don't know, you want to be like TikTok famous because you see this girl's TikTok famous, but you don't know like the consequences that come with that. You don't even know if she's like being put behind the camera by force.
Do y'all feel like us as adults need to show more respect in regards to like love and care?
In regards to everything, you guys are disrespectful.
Well, I haven't. Did I disrespect
Not you, adults as a whole, because I feel like a lot of adults stand from the viewpoint of, I've lived for this much longer than you, so obviously I've acquired a lot more knowledge about life, and that I just think, like, not necessarily that they think they're better, but they think they have a lot more knowledge than us, which is not necessarily the case. Because you guys, like, need to remember that you guys were actually, like, our age in, like, 1980, 1970, times have changed, things are moving, like, you might know about your life knowledge, but we know about what's going on in the current time, so it has to be like a mutual exchange, like you got, listen to what you're saying, we'll listen to you, listen to us, but a lot of adults are unwilling to listen to the younger generation. I think that is a big part of the problem.
Imagine like you've cleaned your whole entire house, you have like a 3-year-old toddler, goes into like the kitchen, gets flour, just like skies everywhere. Like obviously your initial reaction will want to be to shout, but like in yourself, you have to do a lot of like, not like healing, but you have to do like a lot of like work on yourself to be able to like handle yourself in like difficult situations, because like you're a human as well, you have natural emotions, and like you need to understand that obviously our parents have natural emotions as well, but sometimes they just take it way too far. Okay, people should have a test before they become parents. Why?
Because I feel like some people aren't ready to be parents, but I feel like because the job is just put onto them, then they just got to accept it and run with it, rather than actually knowing that you're ready to become a parent, because at the end of the day it's a whole nother life that you've got in your hands. And a lot of people aren't ready for that responsibility, and it's very evident in the people that we have in society today. Very evident.
So what I think about how people are being treated is like, in America, some people, like there was a fight that was happening, contributing to that Black Lives Matter, and how black people are being treated. And how a man and several people had died because of the people being racist and stuff like that, and they were out like people were raging at other people, so people were really angry at other people, and it all called out after they discussed how the whole world had a protest that Black Lives Matter, and how people should look after one another, and like stop fighting over silly things, because that's.
This is the UK, so obviously you're not like connected to your like culture as you would be within your home country. Like let's say for example here, like obviously your first language would most definitely be English, but then like if you grew up where like the rest of your family is from, then you'll probably know like your mother tongue, be able to speak it fluently. Independence Days, yeah, I feel like there's so much more to do with that, because I feel like you're just celebrating years of independence, but are you really independent? Like, isn't there much more that you could be doing for your country? Like, you're independent, you're away from the colonization, but like, is your country growing? Is your country developing? Because if you look at the countries that took over our nations, like they're developing so much more. Like all these European countries, they're all like high income countries. They've got all this high level education, high level healthcare. And when you look back at our country, like it could have been so much better, but then like we're not using our resources to our advantage.